The studio lights blazed, the audience buzzed with anticipation, and the cameras rolled on Jimmy Kimmel Live, a stage where Hollywood's biggest stars trade quips and charm for laughs. But tonight, something electric crackled in the air. Keanu Reeves, the enigmatic action icon and the internet's favorite philosopher, stepped onto the set, his trademark calm masking a fire nobody saw coming. What unfolded wasn't just an interview. It was a moment that would dominate headlines, spark debates, and leave millions replaying the clip in awe. Keanu Reeves didn't just sit down with Jimmy Kimmel. He took the stage, the narrative, and the entire conversation into uncharted territory, delivering a response so raw, so profound, it silenced a room and sent shockwaves across the globe. The crowd roared as Keanu settled into the guest chair, his black blazer and easy smile radiating that effortless cool. Jimmy Kimmel, ever the master of playful jabs, leaned forward, ready to steer the night's banter. The topic: Keanu's latest blockbuster, a sci-fi thriller that had critics raving and box offices bursting. But Jimmy, true to form, couldn't resist a curveball. He said, "Keanu, you're out here saving the universe on screen, but let's be real. Don't you ever get tired of being the internet saint? I mean, sad Keanu, breathtaking Keanu, Keanu the philosopher. How do you not roll your eyes at this stuff?" The audience chuckled, expecting Keanu's usual humble deflection, but his eyes sharpened, a subtle shift that hinted at something deeper brewing. He leaned back, fingers brushing his chin, and the room seemed to hold its breath. "You know, Jimmy, I don't roll my eyes because I don't see it as a joke," Keanu said. "People connect with stories, with moments, because they're searching for something real. They're not just memes to me. They're human. And if someone sees hope or kindness in what I do, why would I laugh at that?" The crowd erupted in applause, but Jimmy, sensing an opening, pressed on with a grin. "Okay, fair. But come on, Keanu. You're the Zen master now, dodging bullets and dispensing wisdom. Don't you ever just want to, I don't know, cut loose? Be the bad guy for once? Tell us you got a secret diva side we don't know about." The audience laughed again, but Keanu's expression didn't budge. He leaned forward now, his voice steady but carrying a weight that made the room feel smaller. "Why does it always have to be about being the bad guy or the hero? That's the trap, Jimmy. We're all stuck in this cycle where we're told to pick a side, to perform for the cameras, to be what people expect. I'm not here to play that game. I'm here to live, to create, to connect. And if that makes me misunderstood or boring to some, I'm okay with that." The applause swelled again, louder this time. But Jimmy wasn't ready to let the moment slip. He tilted his head, his tone teasing but probing. "All right, Keanu, I hear you, but let's talk about this connection thing. You're out there doing these insane stunts, giving away motorcycles to your crew, being the nicest guy in Hollywood. Is it real, or is it just good PR? Because nobody's that good all the time." The question hung in the air, sharp and daring. The audience murmured, sensing the shift. Keanu's gaze didn't waver, but his voice took on a quiet intensity that cut through the noise. "You want to know if it's real? Look, I've lost people I love. I've faced moments where life felt like it was slipping through my fingers. When you go through that, you don't waste time on PR. You give because it matters. You show up because someone else might need it. I don't do it for headlines. I do it because I know what it's like to feel alone, and I'd rather be the guy who tries than the one who looks away." The studio fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Jimmy, for once, seemed caught off guard. His usual quick wit momentarily stalled. He recovered with a nod, but his tone softened. That's powerful," Jimmy said. "But let me play devil's advocate here. Hollywood's a machine, right? It thrives on image, on branding. You're telling me you've never felt pressure to lean into this Keanu the good guy persona? Not even a little." Keanu's lips curved into a faint smile, but it wasn't warm. It was knowing, almost challenging. Of course there's pressure. The industry wants you to be a product, to fit in a box they can sell. But the second you start living for that, you lose yourself. I've seen it happen. People chasing clout, bending over backward for approval. I'm not saying I'm perfect, Jimmy, but I'd rather be a little too real than a polished lie. The crowd roared, some standing to clap. Jimmy raised his hands, laughing, but there was a glint of respect in his eyes now. Okay, you're making me look like the cynical bad guy here, Jimmy said. But let's pivot. Your new movie, it's got this big philosophical undertone. Questions about reality, purpose. Are you slipping some of that Keanu wisdom into your roles now? Trying to wake us all up? Keanu leaned back, his intensity easing into something more reflective. I don't set out to wake anyone up. I'm just drawn to stories that ask the big questions. What are we doing here? Why do we fight for what we love? Those aren't just movie themes. They're what keep me up at night. If that resonates with people, great. But I'm not preaching. I'm searching, just like everyone else. Jimmy saw the chance to lighten the mood, his grin returning. Searching, huh? So, what's Keanu Reeves searching for these days? World peace? The perfect pizza? Spill the beans, man. The audience laughed, but Keanu's response was unexpectedly direct. I'm searching for honesty, Jimmy. In myself. In the people around me. In the stories we tell. We're drowning in noise, clickbait, hot takes, people shouting to be heard. I just want to cut through that. Find something true. That's what keeps me going. Jimmy nodded, clearly impressed, but not ready to let the debate end. Honesty's great, but let's be real. Sometimes the noise is fun. You're telling me you don't scroll through X, laugh at the memes, maybe fire off a spicy reply now and then? Come on, give us a peek into Keanu's secret internet life. Keanu chuckled, but his answer carried an edge. I see the memes. Sure, some are funny, some are wild. But I don't live online, Jimmy. I don't need to tweet my every thought to feel relevant. The internet's a tool, not a life. And honestly, I think we'd all be happier if we spent less time arguing with strangers and more time talking face-to-face like this. The audience cheered, but Jimmy leaned in, sensing a chance to push deeper. Jimmy Kimmel said, all right, but you're dodging the spicy reply part. Let's say someone's out there trashing your movie, saying it's all style, no substance. You're not tempted to clap back? Set the record straight. Keanu's eyes glinted with a rare flash of defiance. Keanu Reeves said, if someone's got critique, they're entitled to it. Art's subjective. Let them feel what they feel. But if it's just noise, just someone trying to tear down to get likes, that's not worth my time. I'd rather put my energy into making something better than waste it on a fight that doesn't matter. Jimmy clapped, shaking his head in mock surrender. Jimmy Kimmel said, man, you're like the Dalai Lama of action stars. But let's get to the juicy stuff. You're private. We get it. But the fans want to know, what's the real Keanu like off-screen? Are you meditating in a cabin somewhere? Or are you secretly binge-watching reality TV? Keanu grinned, finally letting his guard down a bit. Keanu Reeves said, no cabins, no reality TV. I ride my bike, read, hang with friends. I'm boring, Jimmy, but I like it that way. The real me is just a guy trying to figure out, same as anyone. I don't need to be larger than life. I just want to live it. Jimmy leaned back, his tone shifting to genuine curiosity. Jimmy Kimmel said, that's the thing, though. You say just a guy, but you've got this aura, this Keanu-ness. People look at you and see hope, inspiration. Does that ever feel heavy? Like you're carrying the weight of everyone's expectations. Keanu paused, his expression softening, but still serious. Keanu Reeves said, it's heavy sometimes. Yeah, but it's also a gift. If people see hope in me, it reminds me to keep going, to show up, not as a savior or a saint, but as someone who's trying. We're all carrying something, Jimmy. The trick is to carry it with grace. The audience erupted. Many were visibly moved. Jimmy, now fully disarmed, nodded slowly. Jimmy Kimmel said, I gotta say, Keanu, I came in here ready to mess with you, but you've got me rethinking my whole approach. You're the real deal, man. Any last words before we let you go? Keanu looked out at the crowd, then back at Jimmy, his voice calm but resonant. Keanu Reeves said, just be kind, to yourself, to each other. It's harder than it sounds, but it's worth it. That's all I've got. The studio exploded in applause, a standing ovation that drowned out the music cue. Jimmy stood too, shaking Keanu's hand, his usual smirk replaced by something closer to awe. As the cameras pulled back, the moment lingered, a rare glimpse of a man who didn't just play heroes, but lived with a quiet, unshakable heroism. The clip went viral within hours, racking up millions of views and sparking a firestorm of reactions. On X, fans and critics alike dissected every word, some calling it a masterclass in authenticity, others debating whether Keanu had subtly called out Hollywood's superficiality. Headlines screamed, "Keanu Reeves stuns Kimmel with raw honesty," and the speechless moment that broke late night. But beyond the noise, one thing was clear. Keanu hadn't just shut down Jimmy Kimmel. He reminded the world what it means to stand for something real in a sea of scripted chaos. And that, more than any blockbuster, was his true legacy.